Welcome back. You're watching India Inc.'s Dream Budget. Today in the spotlight is the real estate sector, and I'm in conversation with Vikas Oberoi, Adi Godrej and Gautam Mehra to discuss the industry wish list. Mr. Godrej, the industry for itself does want to provide all that it can, but they're also faced with headwinds. We've highlighted a few of them: higher interest burden. Again, the other fact is that the liquidity and the support that you're getting from the banking system in terms of, providing liquidity. Do you believe that, giving and promoting and the development of REITs right now will provide the necessary steps to infuse the liquidity that's required?
Yes, I think everything should be liberalized. Liquidity clearly needs to be improved. I think the Reserve Bank needs to start cutting repo rates, reverse repo rates and CRR rates on a regular basis over the next 9 to 12 months. That will help real estate development very considerably. The mortgage rates have become excessively high, which has created a negative sentiment also among potential buyers of housing, that it is better to wait until mortgage rates come down.
Mr. Godrej, how important or how big will it be to increase the allocation to the Rajiv Awas Yojana?
I think that's it's the urbanization plans must be supported. I think we should make sure, of course, that they are used efficiently. I think once this Aadhaar UID scheme is brought in, both in terms of individual direction of funds can be more efficient, and the government should set up some system to monitor that the states use it efficiently. And I've found that most of the states that have received these funds have done a good job of it, and this should be encouraged.
The other drawback which we just spoke about was a single clearance window, and Vikas, you pointed that out. How much of a drag is this, that there is not a regulator, to make sure things function smoothly, and just an intention from the finance minister, to probably have an outlook on setting such a regulator up that will have a smooth flow will be a big boost.
See, we as a company are in for a regulator, as in we vote for it. And when you ask me the drag, it's huge. Government has to make sure that they create a level playing field. They also need to make sure that approvals come in time. At one end you are increasing the interest rate, the other end approvals don't come in time. All this costs a lot of money, and this is directly going to be passed on to the buyer. And at the end of the day, we are in effect helping inflation. So I guess if you have a level playing field, if you have your rules clear, if a single window clearance is in place, then we are able to churn out a lot more, a lot faster. The efficiency that we will end up building will actually be passed on to a customer, because today every developer is looking at affordability also. Affordability at every level. I'm not talking about affordable housing. Even in a luxury segment, there's a level at which people can afford something.
Gautam, you have a view on the same, as in what we've been talking about in terms of clearances and...
Yeah, 2 points. One on the mention about REITs, definitely. This is something which has been going along since, I've been hearing about REITs for the past, I think, 6 to 8 years at least. I see 2 clear advantages in this. One is getting a more educated investor base and acting as an intermediary channel to funnel that capital into this industry. I think the quality of the capital which comes into the industry will by itself also act as a trigger to just raising the bar across the board. And secondly, this is an industry which requires capital. I think REITs also acts as a good exit mode for some of the larger investors which come in, because as of now there's very limited modes of exit. So by and large, I think REITs does carry these big advantages. It will also provide an opportunity for smaller players to come into this field. I fully agree on the point of regulations. We just need to be very mindful that it doesn't convert into regulations for the sake of just putting in something into the bar. And I think Mr. Oberoi very correctly put it. It's about having someone on the ground there who's really taking care of things, rather than just increasing the levels of paperwork or bureaucracy. That's the only perspective I had on that.
Coming back, you spoke about giving an exit option to investors. Mr. Godrej, do you believe that the real estate industry at a point at which it is has an investor-friendly environment?
Well, I'd like to first talk about the matter on the regulatory issues.
Sure.
I don't, just single window is not enough. It must be time-bound clearance. If plans are not cleared with a certain period of time, to my mind, the maximum period should be 3 months, they should be deemed to have been cleared. And I think it is very important that government, municipalities, etc., are told to follow that. If they have any questions, if they want to get any clarification, it must be done within that 3-month period. And sorry, what was your other question?
I was asking you about real estate. Is it actually an investor-friendly sector, considering that we're talking about FDI and real estate, and there are also various hurdles of investors seeking an exit option?
Well, there should be. I think FDI in real estate should be opened up. I don't see why it should be only for X and only for Y, etc. I think it should be opened up. Just as I feel FDI in many other areas should be opened up. Why should the government keep putting restrictions on FDI?
Vikas, you want to comment on that?
Yeah. You know, I agree with Mr. Godrej. This is probably the best industry one can look at from investor point of view. And the best part is you don't even consider that as an investment. It's as an expense. You consider this as an investment. I mean, a lady of the house will probably, you know, agree to defer buying jewelry if you've just bought a house and you have interest or loan repayment to be done. You postpone buying a car when you actually end up buying a house because you want to repay that. So I guess this is probably the most prudent investment one does.
You think it would help also if restrictions on end use of external commercial borrowings are somewhat relaxed?
You know, again, I would say that, you know, we are talking about REIT, we are talking about foreign currency loans, and here we on our for access to monies, RBI is actually continuing to restrict use of money into the industry. So I really don't know, I mean, you know, whether this is a right idea. At the end of the day, if you are really wanting to curtail inflation, your first act has to be to increase supply. And on the back of that, you can probably then start having FCBs, you can start having, REITs, and so on and so forth. Increasing supply of cash in our industry by not increasing supply of land would actually be, you know, counterproductive, I would say. So of course all these are welcome, but they should be welcomed at the back of some more supply, some more clarity in rules and regulations. Otherwise there is a chance of a mismatch, which is what I'm really worried about, you know. So I'm not against that at all. I mean, in fact, I'm advocating both of them, but this should be done at the back of increase in supply.
Mr. Godrej, completely running out of time, but two-part question. One is a long-standing request to get an industry status granted, and the second is obviously the differential that you see for real estate projects, which is not considered as infrastructure only if it is used for building tolls, highways. That's the time when you get the benefit and the tax benefits. Aside of that, none of the other projects gets the benefits. What is your stance on the fact that, and why exactly is the government holding back to give it an industry status?
I think generally government should announce that housing, especially housing, is going to be a priority area, and they should work around this both on the regulatory framework as well as the tax framework. And I agree, mortgages should be deductible to a much higher extent, not this 1.5 lakhs a year is far too inadequate. It must be increased. And I think this giving this status and that status is not very important. What must be very important is that both the central government and the state government should be committed to facilitating the industry.
But this, if you do get an industry status, you do get access to good funds as well, long-term, short-term funds, that paves the way for it.
Yes, but I think people, even borrowing is not the only way to fund. People could fund it with equity, people could fund it with foreign investment. There are many other ways of funding it. I think if the facilitation of the industry is much more important than the funding part.
All right. We're completely out of time here. Very interesting discussion, and that was the wish list and expectations from the real estate sector from Vikas Oberoi, Adi Godrej and Gautam Mehra, who joined us on the tax front. Gentlemen, thank you so very much. It was a pleasure discussing the wish list with you all. That's it from my end. Thanks a lot.